Morning, everybody. So it's my first day back. It's Tuesday, working on the Firebird. So I'm going to be working down here in this section, trying to get back where I was here a couple of days ago. So I took 4 days off, spent it with family, had a great time, and now I'm getting back at it. So today I'll be cutting the firewall patch and the existing firewall together so that I can get them welded as one. So I'll have to cut some of it, and then I'll have to remove this torque box out and then cut the rest of it and then start my welding process. So that's where I'm at today. Okay, so I got this cut and smoothed out here. I got it all cleaned up. This has been widened a little bit in here to match this to this. So when I get this all tacked in, I'll take the torque box off, and then I will finish mating this from the underside, screw it in there, and then draw it over. But first I have to get these lines where they all match here. I've got to get these all tacked in place where they go. So I got to put a couple screws back in here so I know I'm good there, and then work my way over and pull these panels, these two panels together, because this kind of went that way. So it needs to get pulled out and matched up. So that means I got to get my torque box screwed back together and then get everything tacked. So here I go. I'm going to screw some of this back together, and then we'll get it welded. So I'm going to work my way from up here where it's right where it's supposed to be, and then I'm going to come down here, tack this along here all the way to this hard spot. So I know I'm good right here. This is where the torque box is, so I need to get this stiff in here, or stiffened up in here, right here, across to this corner, and then I'm going to go here, and then I'll take a screwdriver and I'll pry it all even so it matches. So I need to get this right here, because this has got to go down a little bit up here, and then it's got to come up in this section right here, and it's just going to be a screwdriver pull. It won't be bad. And then over here, like I talked about, I'm going to have to raise this up and pull that over, and this was cut together, so you can see how much it's moved. So I need to get this pulled like this, up together like that. After I weld this, I'll work my way over to this corner, and then I'll work my way down this and close this up, because this is kind of dropped down a little bit, right there, right there. So I got to bring those two together like that, and then tack them. All right, let me get some of this stuff tacked. I got this panel all tacked in, except for in this area right here. In that area I've got to push from the back, and I don't have access to it. So I'm going to have to take the torsion box off now. So I've got it all marked where it's going, and you know, now I'm just mating the firewall together and squaring it. So when I put the torque box back up in, it should be right there. So I've got this all solid on the side here, and I've got it solid up in this corner. I've got it tacked all along here, and I got it pretty solid right here, and I've got it tacked where it meets up there. So it's just gonna have to be put in there, you know, bent so it's even, so when I tack it, it's all nice and square. And then I can, without the torque box, I can get in and adhere this panel to this panel, because it has tabs all along there. So I widened this up in here so it matched what the floor pan was, because it was a little bit narrow right there. So I matched that, and then now when I go underneath and I put when I pound the tabs flat, it'll match right into that panel, and it'll be nice and strong. All right, so I've got this squared up in here, and I've got it all adhered to the rocker extension. So I'm ready to weld that, and I've got a little bit of gap there that I need to fix yet. In here looks pretty good. We're getting real close. Over here is nice and solid now, So I got a little bit of tweaking when I get back tomorrow or Thursday, and so I can get that tacked in. Hey, so I just wanted to bring up something here that I think is real important, and that is not burning yourself out on your project, and doing it when you can. So when you start a project like this, you have to have a big picture. If you don't have a big picture and keep your eye on the prize, it's so easy to get lost in the little stuff. Like today, this panel right here, I didn't get it all done. I just don't have time. So I'll come back to it. And you'll notice in this video, I stopped. Okay, I stopped because I'm out of time. And this is reality. Reality is you do what you can do when you can do it and you feel good about it. So I started out wanting to get that panel in there completely. However, you know, getting it to fit properly sometimes takes longer than you think. You have to go forward, go back, go forward, go back. I had that clamped probably 4 or 5 times and I wasn't happy with it. End result is I ended up holding it by hand because I couldn't get any of the clamps to hold it the way I wanted to. Hold it by hand and tack it. And then that worked. Once I had a good tack at the closure that I wanted, I was able to zip up the side and get it the way I wanted. But it was frustrating and it took a long time. So I didn't get as much done as I wanted to today. However, do I feel satisfied? Absolutely. Absolutely. I got the hard part that I wanted to get done. And even if I hadn't, I would have said, okay, I did as far as I could today and be at peace with it, come back on the next day. This car does not have to be done next week. Doesn't have to be. It's my project, and if it takes me a year, great. If it takes me 6 months, kind of impossible, but if it took me 6 months, great. If it takes me 2 years, I don't care. This is a project for a lifetime. This is my car. I don't have a customer calling me. I do it when I can do it. So you have to be at peace with that, or get somebody else to do your car because they take time. And especially if you want it done right, they take time. These guys that you see that do it really quickly, you're not seeing all the video, number one. You're not seeing all the time it took them. Number two, you're seeing the highlights, usually. There are some honest people like Louis from First Generation Garage, very honest. John at Vinyl Village Garage, yeah, he's a good guy. You know, he says the ups and the downs. When he finds a problem, he shows you and he fixes it. Those problems occur on every car, I guarantee it. Every single car. You put them on a frame jig, you put them wherever you want, it doesn't matter. It's a unibody. It's going to take time to get the panel square and get them the way you want them. And it's not, these panels don't just fall in from the factory, no matter what people tell you that they're great panels and they're perfect. They're not. They're not. But you know what? When the car came off the factory floor, it wasn't perfect either. So you have to understand that. Am I hacking on AMD and all these other companies that make this? Absolutely not. They do a phenomenal job. When I had my first Firebird, I needed panels made. They weren't around. Nobody was making them. So I think we've come so far, and it's really great, you know, where we've come. But you know, you got to understand these things take time to put together. And you just have to deal with it. And if you're not willing to deal with it, like I said, get somebody else to do your project. Because this is going to be my car. I am going to build this car start to finish. When I get done with this car, it will have been my project. And yes, I'm going to paint this car. And some people will say, well, you should leave painting to the painters. Great. I got a guy that helps me and is teaching me. And by the time I'm ready to do this car, I'll be ready. Will I have some assistants watching me and telling me, hey, you know, do this, do that? Yeah, I will. I got a guy right now that's painting the front bumper or the front fascia on my Camaro. That's a guy that has painted for me before, and I trust him. So I'm going to use him. But anyways, getting back to the thing at hand, or the concept at hand, I just want you to understand that I didn't complete that panel today, but that's okay. It's all right to not complete the panel today. When I come back tomorrow, I got it in a good place to get after it. So anyways, don't lose hope in your projects. Stay working on them, and don't be afraid to stop if you're at a place you have to stop. Don't push yourself. and make mistakes or say, oh, that's just good enough. Because, you know, you can do the quality work, it just takes time. And sometimes it's 2 steps back and 1 step forward. So anyways, have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.